RealDenceNay. For more information about RealDenceNay, please WhatsApp and check out the business site. Thank you, real ones.
Hello everyone, this is RealDenceNay here. Ooh, this is exciting, but guess what, you guys? It is real! Ooh, this video is about the lies. Oh my goodness, the lies that we have been told in the United States about 4th of July. Make sure you guys watch this video until the very end to get the full experience and all of the lies.
The 4th of July has been celebrated with great fanfare since the very beginning. John Adams, who many consider the father of American independence, wrote to his wife Abigail, just after voting on the document, that the day will be the most memorable epoch in the history of America. I am apt to believe that it will be celebrated, by succeeding generations, as the great anniversary festival. It ought to be solemnized with pomp and parade, with shows, games, sports, guns, bells, bonfires and illuminations from one end of this continent to the other from this time forward forevermore. Illuminations and guns. But he was wrong about the date. He thought that American Independence Day would be celebrated July 2nd, the date that Congress approved the resolution that the colonies should be free and independent from Britain. There are lots of facts about Independence Day that most Americans don't know. Here are a few of them. July 4th wasn't the day the colonies declared their independence from Britain. The Second Continental Congress officially voted to declare independence from Britain on July 2nd, with the ratification of the Lee Resolution. It took 2 days to craft a final document with language they could approve, the resolution that became the Declaration of Independence. Even then, the signing ceremony was held not on July 4th, but August 2nd, though John Hancock did put his John Hancock on the original document on July 4th. Thomas Jefferson didn't write it. Timothy Matlack did. Well, not really, though plenty of Americans have the image in their heads of old Tom sitting at a table, quill in hand, scrawling out the calligraphy that we see today in the National Archives. Actually, Jefferson was part of a 5-man committee who drafted the Declaration, Jefferson providing the first draft with input from the others, mainly Adams and Franklin. After the resolution had been passed, revised, approved, and printed, Congress commissioned an engrossed version that was likely carefully handwritten by Clerk Timothy Matlack. Adams got Jefferson drunk to accept the task. This may be apocryphal, but there is at least an account of Adams giving him some drinks after Jefferson expressed reservation about his ability to craft such an important document. 2 major edits made the document timeless. Like any essay, the Declaration went through many drafts. Earlier declarations contained the phrase, life, liberty, and property, since, at the time, rights were only held by property-owning white men. Jefferson appears to have changed property to the pursuit of happiness, which led to a revolutionary definition of citizenship. Ben Franklin appears to get the credit for the phrase, we hold these truths to be self-evident, changing the original, we hold these truths to be sacred and undeniable. This seems in keeping with Franklin's more secular view of the world than many of the other founders. One major edit still has repercussions today. Jefferson's original draft contained a condemnation of the slave trade, but this section was removed as too incendiary for the South. Jefferson's draft was focused more on the complaint that Britain was offering slaves freedom to foment insurrection against the colonies, but leaving slavery out of the Declaration was an omission that would cause harm for generations, even down to today. Who wrote it didn't matter at first. After the Declaration was passed, authorship of the document wasn't considered terribly important. There was a war to fight, and the arrival of the 1787 Constitution, with its own rich and powerful language, was considered far more important. But during the election of 1800, Jefferson's supporters made a point of lauding him for crafting the founding document of American freedom. By then, political parties were forming and Adams, now a rival, took exception to Jefferson claiming all the credit. Alas, like many elements of American history, the legend took hold and became more powerful than the more complicated truth. Abraham Lincoln revered the Declaration of Independence. It took a failed congressman from Illinois to grasp the true power of the Declaration and hold its key phrase, "All men are created equal," to its logical meaning. Until Lincoln, the Constitution was held as the essential American document. Lincoln understood the power and clarity of the earlier document as a motivating force to win the war against slavery. In a speech in Peoria in 1854, Lincoln said, "Nearly 80 years ago we began by declaring that all men are created equal. But now from that beginning we have run down to the other declaration, that for some men to enslave others is a sacred right of self-government. ... Our Republican robe is soiled and trailed in the dust. ... Let us repurify it. Let us re-adopt the Declaration of Independence, and with it, the practices and policy, which harmonize with it." Continues to evolve in meaning. The date didn't become an official holiday until 1941, and even now, amid protests, the document the day celebrates continues to evolve as the nation it founded continues to seek to become a more perfect union.
Being locked down, couldn't go out, and there was no sports, couldn't watch football, basketball, baseball. When Aubrey happened, then Breonna Taylor happened, then George Floyd happened, you couldn't watch nothing else but those tapes. And young whites start looking at it, and then older whites say, wait a minute, what is this? That's why I said to y'all 2 weeks ago, Trump running around talking about make America great again. Give me the date America was great for everybody. Wasn't never great for white women. They couldn't even vote in 1920. They didn't even let their own wives, their own mama vote. Wasn't great for blacks, wasn't great for Native Americans, wasn't great for immigrants. When was America great? Again suggests that there was a time we were great. When was it, Mr. Trump? Mr. Lincoln, you promised that if we fought Robert E. Lee and backed the Confederates back, that we'd get the same rights as everybody else. I'm going to the landmark where Dr. King talked about he had a dream, because I still have that dream. And I don't need no barbecue on the 4th of July. It wasn't my party.